The video today is a quick one. You are going to be putting together what you missed yesterday due to the assembly. So as it says on the board outside the door, you need to have one of these sheets. You need to have one of these sheets and one of these, along with a scissor and glue stick. So if you haven't gotten those, please pause the video and go get them. Now that you have all the materials, we are going to look at these two. What you need to do is you need to cut these out, and you want to cut on the outside of the black. So if you notice, they are labeled addition, multiplication, division. The biggest question on this one is, how do I cut up the division one? You have a couple choices. You could cut it out individually, 3 pieces, and then glue it together as a whole. Or you can cut it out, making it look like this, and then just glue it in for this. Now, you need to take a sheet of paper out of your binder, and you need to, once you get these cut out, you need to put them on the sheet. You can put them in a variety of different ways. You can, if you want to take out more than one sheet, you can. You could take out 2 sheets and put multiplication on one side, division on the next. You could take the addition on the next sheet of paper, and on the back put the subtraction. If you take out one sheet, you're going to put 2 of these on the front page of it and then flip it over, and you can do the back with the other 2. The other way that you could do it is you could make them work together to kind of help you in regards to remembering what do I do if I have like bases and I'm multiplying them or dividing them? What do I do with my powers? And here's a way that you can use this to your advantage with that as well, and put your multiplication division, or excuse me, multiplication addition together, division subtraction together. So this would be on one side, this would be along with it, and then on the back side it would be these 2. Now, once you're done doing that and you've got them cut out, before you glue them in, inside of these, and that's why they're big and bold and they have a lot of room to them, you want to put in the words that I've given you from the video first into the symbols here, so you know these words mean multiplication, these words mean addition. But before you get to your assignment for today, you want to go on Google and ask Google for 5 more words that you can put in there. They need to be different from what you got out of the video, so please don't use those over. Now, I'm kind of putting you on the honor system for this, so please go ahead and do this, because when you do this, you're going to start a database for these different operations and the words, and it's going to carry over into what we're going to talk about next. So that's your first one that you want to do. Cut these out, glue them, but before you glue them, make sure you put the words inside of the terms. So that's what you want to take care of first. Your second one is not a foldable, but it's a sheet that will go through some things. You're going to be filling in the blanks for that, and that's going to keep us into getting the words known for this section. For this flow sheet, this is what we're going to be talking about in regards to equations. We are going to be getting into that in this section. So we're going to fill in the blanks here as we go. So if we look at what we have here, we have an example, and this example is going to the big one up here, and this is what we call an equation. If you see an equal sign, that's referring to an equation. That's where the word comes from as a part of equa. You get equation from it, so these sides have to be equal to each other. Now, if we ignore this part and we look at just the bracketed part, which is 3x plus 5, now we have something called an expression. It's a mathematical problem, that will have one or more variables in it, and we'll talk more about that as we go. Inside the expression or equation, you have what we call our terms. Our terms are what take the place of a number, a letter, and then you'll have a number. If you have more than 2 over here, then you look for the like terms section that we have for it. Now, each individual has its own term as well, and the 3 here, we've talked about this and had this word before. It's in front of the letter, so we call it a coefficient. So the coefficient of this is the 3. So it's the number in front of the letter, not going to be called the number in front of the letter. We're actually going to use the word coefficient. The letter that we have here, which is what we're always solving for, we call that the variable. And it can be any letter that you want. The top 6 letters you're going to see are X, Y, and Z, A, B, and C. And then our last one here, which is on the side of the equal sign with the letter, is our constant. This is what is never changes. Doesn't matter where you put it, it's always going to be a 5. So when we look at this, we're looking at equations. We're going to be solving those. We're going to be writing those. We're going to be writing expressions. When we do get expressions, you're given the letter's value, and then we stick that into the letter to solve for it. There's a couple other words that we want to go through before we end this, and then we can get you into your assignment. And that first one is what we call a statement. And that's just simply a sentence in math that has a math problem in it. These are what we call our word problems. So it's going to be like fractions. Some of us aren't going to like doing these, but we have to be able to do these types of problems. So in this section, what you're going to be asked to do is, you're going to be asked to take a statement and turn it into an expression. Well, a statement is a sentence, and the expression is the problem. So we're going to take a written words and we're going to turn it into our expression. So the last, or the foldable that we just did and created with the plus sign, minus sign, multiplication, and division, that's where this comes in to help us with this part, because we're going to have to go from a statement to an expression, and then we're also going to have to go expression to sentence. So please keep that in mind as you go. Please put these in your binder. Please use them. And at this point, when you're done putting this together, you can get started working on assignment 2.